We go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, for the B, how you doing, man?
I am great, my bro. How are you doing?
I'm very good, bro. We've had a busy month.
We've had a very busy month, and it's been an interesting week of sport as well, especially in boxing, bro. I know that's your thing, boxing.
It is, mate. It is. Big fight. This bit disappointed as well, actually. You know, Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. too. I won't lie to you, I was in the air while the fight was going on, but the fact that it didn't really live up to the excitement. Obviously, I wanted Chris Eubank Jr. to win.
Do you think that was going to happen?
I didn't see Conor Benn coming through with
the dominant performance.
That dominant performance.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I don't want to take anything away from Conor Benn, but Chris Eubank Jr. looked like a shell of himself. Like, just for the simple fact, like, he wasn't throwing punches. Which dehydrated. I think that would do it to the. I think so.
To the best of us, bro.
So. But anyway, how was Austin? How was the F1,
bro? It was good. It was good. Again, working very, very closely with Red Bull team out there. So again, it was good fun to be in Texas for the first time.
Wow, look at you dropping names, yeah.
Yeah, why not? But no, bro, it was amazing to be there. You know, I'm drawn to the States and have the warmth of the people there, and they love their racing.
They love motorsports over there
in Texas, so it was nice to be around it. And yeah, bro.
Well, you know, speaking of motorsports, bro, we have a very, very special guest.
Who do we have
in the room today?
Who do we have?
We have the one, the only,
Christopher Okocha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Say it close to the mic, Christopher Okocha. Yeah, right.
Chris,
nice to meet you,
good to have you, man.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me.
No relation to the Okocha, do you?
No, I wish.
Okay. That could come in handy at some point.
It actually has. I'll let you know in another time. I'll let you know. But yeah, it actually has.
Okay, right, Chris. So obviously, you have a great history in motorsports, and obviously, you've got a big future ahead of you, and we're excited that we get to have this conversation with you and get your insights into all things motorsport. But it would be very good and very interesting if we could get a quick intro to you, your background, for the people that don't know you.
So I was actually into football before I got into motorsport, but there's always a love that was lingering, you know, from early back as I can remember, really. But I think the switch really came like around 12, 13 years old. It's a time when my dad actually was going Go Karting with all of his friends, and I took his place last minute, and it was just a landslide victory from then. These are guys that all had licenses, you know,
that's
typical
big,
stuff.
Wow. Yeah. How old are you at this point?
I was 12 at the time. Yeah. So, and you know, like you guys, if you've ever been go-karting before, everyone, and it's similar to boxing. Everyone comes in with their egos. Oh yeah, I'm the fastest guy.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of like a head turner. Like, what the hell's this little kid like coming to do this? I also set the lap record as well when they invited me back. And then they had a little championship going on there at the time. I won that. Again, it was just like indoor karts, nothing too sort of majestic. And then it just went on from there. Then I went national, success from there, had some experience in cars as well.
So just tell us a little bit about that step from obviously going on the go-karting to nationals.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So the go-karting to nationals, it was just me. I think what the problem was, the reason why I didn't get into racing earlier, was because one, colour of my skin, let's be honest, it was very, very elitist, very, very exclusive to like white middle-aged men who were in it, or from what I saw anyway. Growing up in Northwest London, black kids, where do you even start?
Right.
That was my thing. And before that, it was just Need for Speed, Midnight Club, shouts to EA Sports and Rockstar. And just, you know, again there as well against my cousins, it was just landslide victories all the time. Wow. You know, right. So you know, typically like winner stays on. When Chris gets on that control pad, he's not coming off. So just forget about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so the jump from go karts, from obviously like it being casual to national, came when I just said that I really want to take this serious now. You know, football is there. It's giving me like a great athletic foundation. Just want to do it really. So made a few friends. Again, every community has its own like clan of people. You ask questions, and there was no Instagram back then as well. So it's just like really word of mouth.
Yeah.
Who you know, right place, right time. And then it started off at Rye House, which is in Hertfordshire.
Okay.
A little kart club going on there.
I'm almost certain because we went to school in Harpenden, Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's the go karting
maybe
centre that we went to when we were
what
kids.
part of Hertfordshire?
It's goodness, like, you know, all these years, is it Heddesden? Am I saying it right? Heddesden, something like that. Yeah.
Hoddesdon.
Hoddesdon. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, speech impediment there. Yeah.
Hoddesdon. Okay.
Yeah. So Lewis Hamilton went there, and it was at one of his first tracks that he went to. There's actually, I think it's still there. I haven't been there in a few years. His Renault Formula 3 car that's on display there.
Right.
But it's quite a famous track.
Okay.
In the UK, everyone knows about Rye House, and yeah, a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So from Nationals, where did you go from there?
So from Nationals, again, it was because I was, funny enough, I actually started quite late in the sport. It was something both within me and then also guys around me saying, I almost felt like I need to catch up. So I jumped on pretty quickly. I did a bit of something at the time called the Intercept Championship, a bit of testing and a couple of rounds here and there, or Formula BMW as it was called. Some running in Formula Renault, and then it's just been F4 ever since. So British F4. But I found that, again, difficulty hit me. Unlike in karting, it hit me being that having a consistent budget through the years didn't allow me to compete in a championship from start to finish. Right. So it was really frustrating, being that how I would show rapid pace from the select rounds that I would do. There was always the question being what would happen if he had a full budget, if he was allowed to test as much as the other guys, if he was allowed to have as much track time as the other guys.
Yeah.
I feel within myself, some would say that, you're, being a bit overzealous about it, but I feel like I could have taken a championship or two.
Yeah.
But you'll never know. We just have to wait and see until that consistent budget comes through. So,
is that the consistent budget from the teams that you were on?
No, from sponsors. So sponsors, because we're in a sport where, sponsors are everything, really.
Right.
It's a bit annoying because I know too many people who have been phenomenal drivers over the years,
but just didn't get
have the right sponsors, because it's definitely who you know. Yeah. Again, right place, right time. With all the social media that you have nowadays, it still helps who you know.
Yeah. So just on that one, I was just wondering, can you touch a little bit about money and racing? Yeah. And what the money is for, how you get sponsors, how much you need?
Well, so money, Damon Hill actually raced him and beat him in a go-kart event, just for the record. He famously said that it is a sport of accountants, being that you need sponsors to do everything. So typically how it goes, that the driver goes to find sponsors. This could be through family connects, friend connects, social media helps a lot, your own business as well. So you find that some drivers own their own businesses. And then you're liaising with whatever team you want to race for, and you say that, okay, I want to do, let's say F3 or whatever. Typically you have to have the experience to qualify to do F3. So this is from the previous championship, whatever you were doing. You need a certain level of license points to be eligible to do it. And then they give you the budget for running of the car, team expenses, obviously things like travel and logistics expenses, championship costs. When I was concentrating heavily on F4, you're probably talking somewhere around, comfortably in a season, this includes testing and the season, about the 300,000 mark for the year. For a year.
Wait, at what level?
This is F4.
Wow.
Yeah. So and what they typically do in racing as well is that in the UK anyway, is that they do the whole VAT thing, because that's why you see an influx of guys coming from South America, because they have a company registered out there that sponsors all of them. They don't have to pay VAT because they're not obviously registered in the UK. Whereas us guys in the UK, you can imagine what it's going to be.
Wow.
So, but the good thing is, again, it is why they say it's a sport of accountants, is because that you can now exploit all these loopholes to essentially get your VAT back or whatever it is. So, and
tell us where does that 300,000 go? So
where it goes to, running costs of the car. So just again, things like tires, registration costs, fees for the mechanics that work for the team, logistics, and obviously getting to races. Yeah. If it's national, it's great, but if it's obviously international, then costs inevitably go a bit higher. And then obviously marketing material as well, that they need to promote you technically as a driver as well when you're racing for that team. So a lot of places.
But sorry, I'm just going to throw
loads of questions at you.
I'm intrigued as well. Go for it.
I would have thought that the team has a budget, and then they're responsible for paying you,
So that's another myth that I like to break down with racing.
Please.
So until you get to typically like Formula One, or you have Formula One, Le Mans Series, or IndyCar, or even Formula E as well, or unless you have a sponsor that is like really generous and like momentous, you typically don't get paid up until Formula One and that level. So the guys even in Formula 2, there's a lot of them that don't get paid.
Wow.
Or they're working for like, let's say, a relative's company, so that gives them a bit of change to do stuff.
Yeah.
Or they, again, as I say, they have a great sponsor that says that, you know what, you're an ambassador, you know, here's a bit of change to your living costs or whatever. So what drivers typically do is that they before they go to their potential sponsor, they'll incorporate a salary that they're happy with for the year and then pay themselves. That's how it works. So say something is like running of the car, hypothetically speaking, would be like 100 grand, and you were happy to take a £50,000 salary, you would typically ask for 150,000. Take the 50,000, and then when now your sponsor's asking questions, you sometimes, again, it's about relationships. You can turn around and say to them that how am I going to live? Do you know what I mean? Or you could just have an argument and sort of like, you know, justify it in some kind of way that just allows them to be like, mate, you know, I need to do something. Do you know what I mean? Or just wing it, you know? It's cutthroat. It is really cutthroat. And that's why they say that motorsport is probably one of the loneliest sports in the world until you get to the top.
Yeah.
On many fronts.
Yeah, I think golf, tennis, and F1 are probably the three most like elitist sports, if I think about it. Yeah. So I wonder, like, I've always wondered, like, okay, they say it's cost a lot, but like how much?
Yeah, but 300 is crazy.
300 is nuts.
Yeah, 300 is
and tennis and
tennis is cheaper.
Tennis and golf can no way. Actually, well, golf
is probably because
it's probably the memberships. Yeah. But you need a membership for tennis as well.
But right? I think the only issue with tennis is that if you want proper quality courts, then well, you can go to your local park and there's a tennis court there.
Just like golf, and just probably there's a coaching element to this as well. You have to pay for coaching, and that's the expensive part. But no way. 300,000.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, I mean now they're doing up to some guys paying up to $1 million in Formula 4 now. 1 million
F4
euros for F4.
For what?
The travel, the staying, because some guys you need to consider let's say they do British F4 and they're from Brazil or something.
Okay.
They may need to come and live here. To the coaching as well. To just like if they're running, let's say multiple championships too, all the costs add up, all the testing, different tracks. It's crazy.
So I was going to ask the question on the money as well, but to me it sounds like it's not accessible for like the average person. Like it's not. So
yeah, the thing is it is, but it's you have to be very, very, very thick-skinned and have really good people around you.
Explain that then.
Being that you will put all of this stuff on the line for it to not work. That's being like your hopes, your dreams, your money in some cases.
But the average person, when I say the average person, the average person doesn't even have money for a deposit for a house. So like 300k, 300k to kind of like
to laugh.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's the reality of it. But actually 300k to me sounds mad.
Yeah,
which is why
that was then, by the way.
Back then, it's even higher.
So now
pounds are not even dollars.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, I'm thinking, does it make sense to have a level below that's a bit more affordable? Because surely there must be so many kids that have the reaction time that are probably talented enough to be a driver, but when they say to parents, maybe at the early doors it's going to cost 50 grand this year, the parents are like, no chance, you can't do that, and then they're missing out on potentially so much talent. So is there anything like that, like a level below?
Below there is, but again, it's a measure of, you know, yes, you can afford whatever level you're doing racing wise, but how is that helping the trajectory of your career to become the best of the best or the top of the top? You know,
but isn't that opportunity though?
So it is. The thing is, at the end of the day, racing is racing, right? That's what I say to people. Like track time is track time, but it's like, I don't know, like you. The best way to explain it is, you're playing. Say it's like in football, right? You want to be playing like academy level and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with playing Saturday, Sunday league. Absolutely nothing wrong with it because it's still football, right? But the guys where the money's at and where like all the, you know, sort of commercial interest is at, they're not going to be paying attention to Sunday league. Sunday league, do you know what I mean? They're going to be looking at academy level, like who's the next guy that we can give a boot deal to, that we can give an endorsement deal to of some kind. So
so do they scout? Would they scout for kids at, let's say, go karting spots, like the Hoddesdon spot, for example? Would there be teams that will be there,
maybe
checking who's got the fastest lap?
maybe not there, maybe a few levels higher in karting they do, but not that level of karting. So scouts in karting will typically be at something like European or world level upwards. That's when, like, if you're doing numbers there, or like at a bare minimum, maybe national level, if you've won a few different categories at a national level, there'll be one or two guys. Because I know that there was a guy who he was picked up by Mercedes, and he was national champion a couple of years back. But I guess they probably look at, like, these big manufacturers, they look at it being like, how, you've won nationals, but on a world stage, it's a different kettle of fish. Do you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to survive at that level? So I don't know. I think it's all a bit intense, I'll be honest. Yeah. Even me as a driver, I'm just like, Anyway.
So how long have you been in F4?
F4 on and off since about 2021, thereabouts. But again, it's all budgetary stuff. I've had some running in Formula 3. So I know what that feels like in terms of, like, some good testing with that. So it's just now.
And tell me, is the highest level of car you've driven F3?
F3 in real life? Yes, F3.
F3, okay. Yeah. What's the difference of speed between F4 to F3?
It's, you know what? It's not. I find that things like, I'm trying to break it down in a simple way. Like, acceleration is up there. It's slightly quicker. It's mainly cornering that tends to get you by surprise. Cornering and braking. Okay. The brakes is the one that, with these race cars, the brakes is the one that will shock you the most.
Okay.
Because they run with, obviously, stuff, you guys have heard of downforce, right? Round the corner is significantly quicker in an F3 car. Whether you're on track with one, whether you see one, you're just like, whoa. Okay,
what kind of speeds we talking, like miles per hour?
Okay, so if it's like I typically go by, let's say, a 90-degree corner, you could easily take, in an F3, you could easily take that 130, 135, thereabouts, round the corner.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you started driving, did you ever have nerves being at those speeds?
Honestly, no, not the speeds. I think it was just nerves being like, you want to do so well to impress people that are watching. Not really this, because I think what it was with those was that I had been so used to just being like, okay, there's that, like, calling of the void to be like, how fast does it go? How fast does it go? It was more so like, how fast does it go? But can I control it in a way to impress, like, let's say my dad watching, or like maybe a team owner watching or whatever. So
what I find with races, or like, there's some people who you get in their car and they just love to drive fast. And like, they don't get that same level of fear that and probably you get.
I get it.
Like, as soon as I hear anything above, well, for legal purposes.
I was going to say, because on camera, we're on the shot right now.
Let's just say I haven't done this, but like above 90, I'm always like, whoa, what am I doing here? I'm not supposed to be in this space.
So maybe it
seems as if.
So maybe it's worth asking, what's the difference between, and not say you've done this, but let's say you drove in a normal car at like 90.
No, I've done it on a track. I've done it.
So 90, and then in a race car 90. Does that feel different? The 90s?
Yeah, I mean, it does, because I'll put it this way, like, race cars, the cars that you guys have got on the road, right? They're like built for comfort and heated seats and all of that stuff. They're nice. It's like being in a Rolls Royce, whereas a race car is like being in a transit van. That's what it's like, until, like, when you drive a race car fast, it's uncomfortable, but it becomes comfortable. It's just like, okay, you're used to it, and it's smooth, that kind of stuff. They're designed to go quickly. Whereas, like, I don't really know, like, your guys are just, it's designed for comfort, whereas race cars are designed to go quickly. When you go slowly in a race car, it can actually be quite uncomfortable, weirdly enough.
And then run us through so you mentioned you could go around 130 on F3. What about F2 and then F1?
Those F2, I mean, at F2 I've done in the simulator.
Okay.
But it's whoa being like the first few sort of like laps, you're like, okay, this is fast.
Even in the simulator, you feel?
In a sim, you feel. And this was like a proper full-on.
Wow.
Because obviously sims, I've got a setup by one of my partners, Base Performance Simulators.
Right.
That one, in terms of realism, it goes all the way up to Formula 2. It's not real to Formula 1, because obviously Formula 1, there's so many technical things involved to set up the cars. And then I've been in like a proper full-on, like the whole room was a simulator rig and everything. Like the thing moves and all sorts in an F2. It's really, really something.
Wow.
It's like, I always tell people, like, when you picture like lines on the side of a track or road, it becomes one line because you're moving that quickly, and everything sort of like does that. Yeah, and you're like almost like in a flow state. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Like you don't really see anything else except what you're supposed to see, where you're going, positioning of the car, and so on. Yeah.
What amazes me about car racing as well is the fact that you're not there alone.
Yeah.
So yes, you're trying to control the car at those speeds, but at the same time, there's 10, 12 other cars on the road at the same time.
That's the thing. Yeah.
They're trying to get past you.
That's what I always tell people, that how it looks. That's why many people say that, oh yeah, they think they can do it. Oh, it's just driving. You get that 20 other guys fighting for position, and they're not fighting for position at 40 miles an hour. They're not fighting for position at 80 miles an hour. Then it's a lot quicker. You wear 4 layers of fabric.
Yeah.
So you have your standard underwear, then you get your fire retardant compression underneath, top and bottom, and then your jumpsuit has 2 layers. Your helmet as well, and then it's 60 degrees typically inside that cockpit, because the engine is behind you on a board about
60.
660, yeah.
Wow.
To give you a bit of insight, the brake pedal, it's not like a car. Typically you have to hit the brake pedal with anything upwards of about 100 kilos of force. So the leg press in the gym, put it on about 100 kg and try and push it with one leg. This is to get max brake pressure. Put it on about 100 kg and press it with one leg. That's what you know. So we're doing that lap after lap.
So that's calves.
Yeah.
That's how you get the bigger calves.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, there's that, and then the steering wheel as well is about 7 kg in each hand. So picture that. There's no power steering like the way we'd get in road cars.
You can't just like lean back.
Right.
Can't
Exactly.
one under.
Yeah. And then you're also having to do that very quickly as well.
What kind of driver are you? Are you more that would take the risk, or not risk, like chicken, where you're both fighting for a spot? Would you let the person slide in, or would you just keep pushing until you get that spot?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Is that giving us insight?
Only joking. No, I mean, I typically, whenever I look at some of my own boards, I'm the sort of person, I like to put drivers in a certain position where, like, okay, you're going to dictate what's going to happen here. You know what's going to happen if you...
They dictate or you dictate?
They dictate, being like how... There's a certain tactic, being like how if they're... I know particularly at Brands Hatch, it always comes to mind. It's a downhill and then you turn left. It's a track up in Kent. You can try and pass me on the inside, but what will happen is that I'll hit the brakes slightly later. In order to pass me, you need to hit the brakes even later than that. But if you hit the brakes later than that, you're going to go off and into the gravel. So I'll put you in that position you're going to dictate. Either you brake, you let me go around the outside because I'm on the racing line, or you try and take me on the inside, but you're going to see the gravel soon.
It's a counter punching if
it was boxing, counter punching. Yeah. So, but also just like, just pressuring and force a gap to open up. Really.
Yeah. Because the reason I asked that is because Max Verstappen. And again, like kind of his style of driving.
Yeah.
He seems to always be so aggressive. And like seems to have like no regard for the car, or if he's going to hit someone else, and he seems to always get the advantage, and I guess pass his driver every time. To
be fair, I mean, I have been known as well to build a train at times, being like, if I get in front, I'll control the race from the front, being like how you're not, it's like a wall in terms of just like, I'll put the car there, pass me if you want, but you know what's going to happen, if you can get there anyway. So
Wow.
You mentioned the sim. I feel like that's one of the most interesting parts of racing, because I imagine you spent hours and hours and hours in that thing. That actually takes me to a film where I'm sure you know where I'm going, Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
yes.
And I'm going to ask you a little bit later on about good racing films and bad racing films.
Yeah. Before you ask me, just on that, I haven't actually seen the F1 film yet.
You haven't?
And on purpose, funny enough. And people are usually shocked when I tell them that. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Why have you chosen not to see it?
The thing is, I just want to wait till the hype dies down. That's when let's like an odd Tuesday, I'll just be like, okay, let me just see what this is.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
I've heard good things.
I've heard mixing.
I've seen clips of it, but not the whole thing start to finish.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people who are like myself, casual F1 fans, just be like, good film, quite exciting at points. And then I've got people who are a bit more into racing. They're like, nah, that corner on that course, it's not accurate.
The technicalities of it.
They're like, Silverstone doesn't look like that, stuff like that. So whatever. But tell us a little bit about simulations and how that translate into helping you be a better driver.
First of all, I say that sims are very good. They're very, very good. I wasn't too big a fan on sims about 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
But I think that the opportunities, first of all, that they provide for people that, let's say, can't afford to go racing, and even people that can afford to go racing, the amount of time it saves for you, the amount of money it saves for you. Obviously, it's never going to simulate the exact same thing. There's nothing like having elements go through your body in the car, but it's really good. I got my sim coming to 3 years ago now, with my partners. Again, as I said, base performance simulators. It's very, very good in terms of learning tracks, trying different car setups, and just again readying you for a race weekend if it's coming up.
Right. So you saw how in Gran Turismo, obviously, Jan was, and I think he's gone on to be quite a successful driver.
He has indeed. Yeah. He did quite a lot. He did F3, he did Formula 2 at one point. Yeah, he did quite a lot.
So do you think, like, is he a rarity, or can people be a sim driver and then translate into being a professional?
It's, as I said, it's because I think it's really good because also, if I should add, it's become more popular where people have made a transition from sims to cars. I mean, there was a guy, Turkish guy, I think his first name is Cem, spelled C-E-M. Always forget his surname, begins with B. Hard to pronounce it anyway, so do forgive me. But he was in sims years ago. He did some sports cars. I think it was a GT4 championship in the BMWs. And then he did Formula 2. And he did, considering the jump that Formula 2 is, he did quite well, I think, relatively speaking. It was very hard for him, but I have to give it to him. To do that is unheard of.
Yeah.
So I've got a question on sims quickly.
Right.
How much, so let's say if someone wanted to get a sim and put it in their home, how much does that cost?
Depends on what level of, you can either build your own sim or you can get a pre-made one. In my opinion, pre-made ones can be better because it's by specialist guys that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Anywhere upwards of about 35, 40K, thereabouts. Okay. Yeah, so like my one up there, if you were to include all the software, it's about 40, 45K. But again, getting this stuff, if you get a good sponsor, it's technically the tools of your trade, right? You list it as an expense. So it is astronomical for like the average person wanting to buy it, but when you put it into the context of the industry you're in,
I relate everything to house deposits these days.
You have to. That's where my numbers went too straight.
I don't blame you.
You have to.
Fair enough. All right, cool. So you mentioned about Brazilians coming and moving over. I'm quite interested in your opinion on like which countries develop the best drivers and why in particular, because when I think of Brazil, I think football, I think MMA, I think fighting. I don't necessarily think motorsports, but
I mean,
they have a
football,
great,
not in recent years anyway.
Not
recent years.
Well, is street racing a thing there?
They probably do. I don't know, but they probably do.
Okay.
Or, they probably do.
But talk to us about who are like the main countries that are developing races that have a motorsport culture.
Except obviously the UK, you mean?
Well, you mean we can include the UK as well, yeah.
Because I mean, statistically, at top level, the UK is leading that. British drivers, because I mean, you look at all the champions in Formula 1, majority of them are from the UK. Even guys that have gone to other countries or other regions of the world, Japan to the USA, a lot of them have done pretty well from the UK. But other than that, Brazilians are definitely up there. Italians are up there as well. Germans, obviously, they're doing German stuff. Great German things. It's become very diverse. I think there has been an influx of some of the guys from the Middle East, but a lot of that is very money driven, which again, if it does wonders for their region, why not? At the end of the day, because I really like the track in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. I think it's very fast flowing. It's actually one of my favorites.
Wow.
But top level guys, Brazil, Italy, obviously Great Britain, France have always consistently been there as well.
Okay. And then talking a little bit about the different nationalities, obviously there's a guy that represents Great Britain probably better than anybody else has ever done it. Our boy Lewis Hamilton. So firstly, tell me, as a black driver coming up in the sport, was he an idol to someone like yourself, or like how do you view him?
So with Lewis, I think everything, I'd been following Lewis since 2005 when he was in Formula 3, became Euro Series champion back then, and then it all changed for me in 2008 when Lewis crossed the line in Brazil. when I was just like, yeah, I can do this. If he looks, representation is so important. I think that was probably one of the first times. And just what he's done over the years. There was actually a statistic that came out a couple years back, but then it resurfaced, being like how Lewis Hamilton is 10 points short of becoming an 11-time world champion. Just think about that. Because you consider races like Malaysia 2016, one that happened in 2010, 2012 as well. He was always at 1 point, 2 points off of having enough points to mathematically be a champion for a certain amount of times. Wow. It's crazy. So, utmost respect for that guy. 2020, that came as no surprise for me, if I'm honest, because you could just tell he's just another animal. However, I think because of that, I'm very opinionated on Lewis. And, before I say what I want to say, I have the utmost respect for the guy. Disclaimer.
Sorry. Do you ever watch First Take where whenever Stephen A. Smith's about to rip into LeBron,
it gives us a story first.
Go on.
I'm just going to say it. So I just feel as though, although it's great because he's definitely doing way more than I am, with all the programs and platforms that he's put out there, Mission 44 and so on, I just think that let's not beat around the bush here, There are young black athletes, girls, boys, younger, older, that want to get into racing and actually put the helmet on and race cars. Yeah. It's an open secret that money is the thing that dictates getting to those points. This is me talking to Lewis Hamilton, are bigger than the sport. You've got more followers than Formula One, right? If you look statistically on Instagram, you've got more followers than the brand Formula One itself, right? And you race for the biggest team in Formula One currently, and you have done for quite a while. What stops you from having a brand like Puma, one of many that sponsor you, going in there and saying that how if you sign a deal and I'm an ambassador for you for the next 3 years, I need a $50 million check to sponsor, even if we start off light, 3 of the top most elite black drivers out there to really help them through the ranks. Yeah. And how I know that this has been done is because John Surtees, ex-Formula One driver, God rest his soul, had something called the Racing Steps Foundation. He co-founded that, and it was for English drivers, and their livery was basically the Union Jack. Ben Barnicoat, to drop a few names, James Collado, they all came through the Racing Steps Foundation. Ricky Collard, successful, great drivers, one of which reached up to Formula 2, and he did really well in Formula 2. Why is there no such thing for that if you're so concerned, or you claim to be so concerned about black people in motorsport wanting to make waves, right? So maybe it's a bit bold of me to say this, but I just feel like someone needs to say it, like, you are great, you have all these accolades, the greatest to ever do it in my standard. However, come on, you have to pass the mantle at some point,
Wow. And so you're essentially saying that, yes, he's been a great role model, but you didn't put your money where your mouth is, essentially.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
But I think a part of that, and this is something I've been thinking as well, a part of that is we don't know the conversations he's had with the Puma, for example. So
is true.
It could be possible that he's had these conversations with Puma and they've said on the back end, well, if we do that, that means 20 million less for you. And 20 million, of course, again, obviously still money, but who knows? Like, I think you have to take everything into consideration. So again, of course, you feel it a lot more being within that space. But I think one thing I always take into consideration, especially when it comes to pro athletes, is that you don't know sometimes we don't know the full story.
Of course not. And that's why I'm not going to rip into him totally and say that, oh yeah, you're not doing this. Because for all we know, it could be the end of this year and he comes out with some kind of initiative. And I it's almost like one of those things I want to be proven wrong, genuinely, because it'll make me happy. It's a win for me because like I'm looking at it, it's like I could potentially benefit from that. The community could benefit from that. Community being black people. Let's be honest here, but until that happens, I'm still saying what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So
I mean, it would be interesting as well if he had. I mean, he doesn't have any. Well, I won't get into that. I'll say is if he had said that, look, I've tried working with these brands to try and get this foundation going, but no one's playing ball with me. That potentially would, I guess, put you at ease to say at least he's trying. But sometimes it doesn't even look as if he's trying at all.
So I mean, again, I can only judge from the outside in.
Exactly.
I only say this because he's like in racing, he's like an older brother to me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to be vocal. I'm going to say these things to be like, bro, what's going on? The same way you'd say something to your general older brother to be like, okay, kind of pissing me off now. Do you know what I mean? Sort it out, you know? Yeah.
Is
you know?
is it possible as well though that is it harder to do that when you're in it? Is it harder to have that kind of impact when you're in the midst of trying to win championships and trying to chase after greatness?
So one of the things that I see sometimes athletes are kind of plastered with is whenever they focus on something outside of just winning, people are always like, oh, why is this guy focusing on Marcus Rashford? Why is he trying to feed kids
brilliant example.
when he needs to be scoring goals?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can understand the criticism that he might think he might get.
And I think if you flip that as well, a part of it, I think with the Rashford one though, he wasn't performing at the time. So a part of me wonders if you're at your best and you're dominating, you're winning, let's say you're winning every year on year, would people still have that opinion of you? Because I think it's easy to pick holes. I think about like Bellingham, for example, at the moment. He's getting a lot of criticism this week about if he should be going to the World Cup or not, which is ridiculous. But it's because he's had a drop of form this season. He had a lingering shoulder injury that he had for a while, and to kind of like just sort it out this summer. He's now coming back into a little form. Got benched by England. The head coach has implied that he might drop him, and he's not definitely like a locked-on starter. And the media have now twisted it into talking about his game and if he's good enough and these kind of things. So I think it's just interesting with when...
Same thing happened to Raheem Sterling years ago as well.
Yeah, like when there's a drop.
Yeah. The head coach is just an idiot. I'm going to be... At the end of the day, he's just an idiot without Jude Bellingham, but here we are, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Tell us about training. Because you mentioned that you've started putting a few more bits out there on social media. Yeah. And I think previously people just thought racing drivers a little bit like jockeys, they just need to be light. But
I wish.
How much do you weigh?
70 kg now.
Okay.
Yeah, 70 kg.
And what's the average weight of a driver?
Well, it depends on what category you're doing.
Okay.
So typically in F1, I think the highest goes up to about 78, anywhere between 78, 68, 78, 69, they're about 70 kilos. So yeah, but I know it fluctuates. It's weird because in F1, I'd say it's very similar to that of boxing. They also do catch weights as well in many ways because they say that there needs to be a minimum weight with car and driver. Okay. So as a driver, you don't want to get too light because you get too light, you're losing muscle mass. Losing muscle mass, you're going to struggle physically.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, for me, 70 kg now. Training typically consists of a few road runs, a lot of calisthenics for the muscular, mainly endurance, if I'm honest. You want to have a good amount of power as well. And funny enough, I mean, I've incorporated plyometrics too. I actually have a coach, ex-Olympian Dalton Grant.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's my coach. He was at the school of like Linford Christie and so on. So the training that we do there, I'm not going to reveal it because it's a secret.
Top secret, okay.
Yeah. But very, very physical stuff.
What's the routine like? Are you in the gym 5 days a week, or is it like road work? Or
most days, yeah. So typically I've never been one to just do that whole thing of like, oh, you're doing arms, you're doing shoulders. For me, I just say upper body, lower body, and every day is core. Okay. Because your core, let's be honest, is where the power comes from with everything that you're doing. So typically I do Monday upper, Tuesday lower, Wednesday upper, Thursday lower. And then it'll be a Saturday workout or Sunday. And then one of those days I'll do a double session where I do like a road run consisting of anywhere between 8 to 10 miles. Yeah. On the road. But the Sundays I'm with Dalton Grant. And that's where it's like the bounding, the plyometrics, you're doing what else? Yeah, so many things like band work. Yeah, like high rep stuff. And it's also because he trains such a diverse pool of athletes. You're learning stuff from football players in terms of coordination. Football players are learning stuff from you. Like let's say we do some upper body stuff, you know, a few boxes as well. Some high, because his discipline was high jump, and when you're working with an ex-Olympian, you'll be shocked how many like micro muscles and things that you just awaken and expose weaknesses that now when you turn up to a racing environment where, you know, no offense, but most of them are just doing the generic gym stuff, you're flying in comparison to them. Do you know what I mean? Right. You know, so yeah.
Talking about training then and power, strength.
Yeah.
Do you guys get drug tested? I'm thinking like, is it possible to dope in racing?
It is, yeah. There was actually a very famous case. I think it's coming up to just over 10 years now. He won, I think it was European or world level championship. It was an Italian guy. he had traces of marijuana in his system, and he was stripped of the title.
Okay.
Yeah, so
marijuana.
So it's more so it's more like driving under the influence. So tested for like
driving under the influence.
Under the influence,
so
yes.
it's more of a risk and a danger.
To yourself and other drivers as well.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking of it from a performance.
So maybe that's the question then. So performance enhancing drugs, do they test for that?
They do. Yeah, because just doping in general. Like, so no to that.
What's something? Like I guess something that maybe gets you to focus in a bit more with it. So I know in is it in darts, snooker, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, you're not allowed to take blockers that make you keep calm, etc.
Yeah.
Do they test for that in F1?
I mean, I can imagine they do in F1. I've never been tested for that, so I wouldn't be able to give you 100% accuracy on that. But I can imagine they do, because the stakes in something like that is very, very, very high. So
yeah.
All right, bro. Tell us about the state of Formula One right now. Like, it seems to be, for me, one of the biggest global sports in the world. Drive to Survive had a massive influence on the growth of F1.
Yeah.
How do you see F1? Who are the best drivers out there right now? The teams that are like looking amazing, and who's going to win this year?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, Oscar's still going to pull it off this year.
You think Oscar is going to take it?
That would be incredible.
Wow.
I was saying it from the end of 2024. Oscar's going to do it. Because what I said, this is all respect to Lando as well. Lando is like, and I know this is going to upset a lot of people. Lando is the Harry Kane of Formula One. That's what I'm going to say.
In what way?
Wait, is that a bad thing?
Is that good? Because Harry Kane is a baller.
In the sense that Harry Kane is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player. However, set pieces.
Wait. When you say set pieces, you're talking...
Set pieces is Harry Kane.
You're saying that he gets a lot of set pieces?
Set pieces
penalties?
in penalties.
Oh. Okay, so you're saying he gets a lot of them.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you. Also,
he gets a lot of
having...
tap-ins.
Again, it's what annoys me, I think, with just the English sort of... I mean, like the English football team has always had phenomenal players. I'd probably say, from my memory, since about 2004, probably even prior, it's just been the fan base that drive me up the wall. They piss me off, honestly. And Lando is unfortunately a victim of that. Lando is like God's gift. He's better than Schumacher. He's better than to the British people. And it's just like, calm down. Calm down. You literally let the man concentrate and do his job before you make him crack. And I feel bad for him. Because it's like, bro, he just wants to go out and race a car without any added pressure. So this is why I said that, how he's like the Hurricane in the sense that Oscar will probably, if Lando wins, brilliant, because he is still a British driver, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if Oscar won, because composure doesn't do too much. He has Mark Webber behind him, who's swam in these waters before, or being in contention for a championship. So that's it. Unless Max comes and just
What I was
spoils the
going to
party.
say, because you don't think Max could do something because 3 races now left.
The way I see it, it will either be Oscar or Max that will pull off.
So isn't Lando number 1 right now?
He is, but only by 1 race win.
Right, so you think Lando is probably going to fall off like that in the last 3?
Pressure's on, because you need to remember, even though it's only 24 points, it's the same race that Max is doing. It's the same race that Oscar's doing. They can easily pass him as well.
Yeah,
you know. And Max is not a stranger to this. He's not a stranger to this.
So by the time this comes out, who's going to finish top 3? Who's going in the season?
Can I do people I'd prefer? I'd prefer it to be like 1, 2, 3. I'd prefer it to be Oscar, Max, Lando. That's what I'd prefer.
Mad. Okay.
Yeah.
And who do you think will do it?
Oscar. I think Oscar will pull off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell us about the state of the sport.
The state of the sport. I think from a consumer's perspective, you know, fans and everything, it's such a great time. There's never been a more involvement with fans in terms of just like the various platforms, as you mentioned, correctly, Drive to Survive, and then also other supporting categories like the F1 Academy and just the awareness of F2 and F3, because I know that they have features on Drive to Survive as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's such a great time. You know, it lets people gain a better insight on how cutthroat the sport is and how high the stakes are. From a racing perspective, unfortunately, or from a racing driver's perspective, I think it was better probably about 10 plus years ago. Reason being because it was more focused on racing, pure driving, and just
more competitive throughout.
Yeah, more competitive throughout. The amount of champions you had in the grid, for instance, was I think in 2010 was the highest, if I'm not mistaken. You had, who did you have? You had, no, not 2010, 2012. Schumacher was there, Lewis was there, Jensen was there, Alonso was there, Raikkonen was there. All these guys, and then at the time, Sebastian Vettel was there as well. All these guys, madness. That's what it was back then.
Yeah.
I think Formula One was Formula One back then. You know, now it's just a bit like, oh, you press this button on the steering wheel. Oh, the fans think this. Oh, like, there reaches a point where you need to let the drivers drive. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And not over politicize it. But overall, I think it's great. I think the presence of, I love the F1 Academy.
Yeah.
I think the presence of exposing more women and how great women are driving in the F1 Academy is fantastic. It's really interesting, actually. I watch it sometimes and I'm just like, whoa.
Is there other than the physical aspect, is there any difference between, because we haven't seen a female or a woman F1 driver, what's the difference? Why haven't we seen that yet?
I mean, besides Susie Wolff she had a free practice session, I think it was 2014. She's the wife of Toto Wolff. This is when she was still racing with Williams. Physicality is a massive part of that. The G-forces going through your body. I mean, you know, the female anatomy, like bone density, it's no fault of theirs, but they lose so much bone density over the years. And many people, they're so quick to just like say something outlandish that's borderline misogynist, but you know, because they don't have the intelligence to articulate it. It's the bone density aspect, you know, and the amount of muscle mass they can put on as a result, and a lot of change that they go through. So physicality is the major issue. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah,
I'm intrigued. So kind of going back to Lando and Piastri now, and McLaren not having a clear number one. So do you think that's a problem? Do you think teams should have a clear number one, or they should keep it open?
Again, I can only answer from two sides. I think from a fan's perspective, I think it should be equal. But from a driver's perspective, I think it's good to have a number one sometimes, because you then have a sense of direction, because there was a very clear number one, let's say at Mercedes years back. And that's why Mercedes was so successful, and Valtteri and Lewis were at the helm. Lewis was the number one there, right? And Valtteri was still able to win races, you know, and I wouldn't say compete for the championship, but he was still winning races and doing stuff. But it does reach a point as a driver where, and very quickly, where you're like, okay, I'm not really here to come second, am I? You want to win a championship, so
Wait, so what does it mean to be a second driver? Because don't you both have the same car?
You do, but there's a lot of factors that come into play. So you guys have probably heard of like the famed second Red Bull seat, right? And the problems that are going on there. Reason why they've had Checo come and go. Yuki's having a bit of a difficult time. Liam Lawson came and went. Even before this, Ricciardo probably lasted the longest, but because of his raw ability. Daniel Kvyat came and went. Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, all these guys, right? They tend, I think Red Bull were the most explicit with it. When you have a faster driver, they build a lot, from the data that they get back from drivers, they build a car to suit that driver more.
Okay.
Because if he's bringing home the results, we're going to go with what he's saying, mate, because do you know what I mean? Max, his driving style has been famed to be like, if anyone has ever played like Call of Duty or whatever it is, right? I think my brother typically plays a lot of that stuff. You can turn the sensitivity up, right? And it was compared to being like how if you get a mouse and you literally just literally tap the mouse, the steering turns. Max's sensitivity is so like almost like inhumanely high. It's crazy, you know? So other drivers come in now and you're expected to now match that pace. You can't do it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
and you can't have two cars that are set different for each driver.
No, because
is it because of the financial impact of how much that
financial
costs?
impact, also the development time as well.
Right.
Times are so tight knit.
That's true. Yeah. You don't really have time to have two teams working on different things, right?
Yeah. This is in Formula One anyway. In Formulas 2, 3, and 4, it's much more individual, you know, because typically the driver's paying for everything with your sponsor. So you better make the car suited to them.
Is there a salary cap
in F1?
Yeah. So can teams spend as much as they want to keep developing the car?
No, you mean like a budgetary cap on the development? Yes, there now is.
Okay.
But they're looking to revert that for whatever reason. For last I heard, salary cap on drivers. No, because then you get drivers who get crazy endorsements or whatever. So
yeah. Wow. So obviously on set as well, we have your helmet here.
Yes, sir.
Before we went on camera, you told me a little bit about the inspiration behind this. I'd love for you to explain this to the audience.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we have, I'm a huge Marvel fan. So already those people who are sharp enough can probably tell where the inspiration came from. Famous film that came out in 2018, Black Panther. But I opted for the Killmonger sort of livery because there's a lot of things that, when you look at Black Panther in context, Killmonger actually wasn't a villain for what he wanted, but it depends on who he was talking to. Right. So so that and also just the black and gold just fitted really, really nicely with what I've always liked. Gold obviously representing a lot of stuff to do with Africa and black people, and obviously black too, and gold being first place as well. If you can see, there's like a gradient that goes from red to black to green at the front. So that's essentially to represent Pan-Africanism, the Pan-African flag. Any of you are familiar with Marcus Garvey and so on. And it just, instead of, because I'm obviously of Nigerian and South African heritage, instead of doing one of each, I figured that let me do something that, you know, represents all black people.
Clean, man.
The African, the outline of the African continent on the back. And then a mantra that was given to me by my grandfather, which is, no fate, no destiny can circumvent a firm resolve of a determined mind. And essentially just means, you know, be determined for what you want, go for what it is that you want, and don't let anything stop you, really. Some of the glyphs from Black Panther there.
Is that actual Wakandan writing? Or
it actually is, yeah.
Okay, what does that say in Wakanda?
Why did you have to ask that question? Yes, I will get back to you on that one. Okay. But I know it means something. It's not just like, you know, when people write Mandarin or Chinese. Yeah, it actually does mean something.
Okay.
Sponsors on it. So Markoof there, they do these guys. They do all like my merch and you know, like clothing and stuff like that.
Got it.
For race weekends. Mainbridge. So these were the financial sponsors for me. 2021, 2022 and 2023.
Yep.
And then you get the ankh that's on the top there. So I love obviously the symbol of an ankh. It essentially means life summatively. And then you get the initials of family members. So my dad's name there, my brother's name, my sister's name, and then my mum's name over there. My logo, but it's being blocked by this carbon strip there, which is basically like 3 circles inside each other and then back-to-back L's. And of being of Igbo heritage, the 3 circles is actually a symbol of greatness. The back-to-back L's stand for long live, and then the inside circle stands for my surname, which is Okocha. So it's long live Okocha and then greatness as well.
Wow.
So that's basically
strong, bro.
It. Yeah. So every single part tells a story or has some kind of message to it.
Let's manifest a little bit in terms of more sponsors. And I know, of course, you mentioned that's a huge part of it. What kind of sponsors would work well for you, taking your personality? What kind of brands you feel will align perfectly with you, or you'd like to work with in the future?
You know what? Because that one has always been a bit of an interesting question, because racing I find is so multi-industry that I'm not really too fast. Just nothing that is aligned with genocide or any of that weird stuff out there. Do you know what I mean? Okay. No, I know that in this corporate world, you never know. You never know. Because I'm very big on that stuff. And also, I think stuff which is very much aligned with, I'll be honest, female, specifically black women empowerment.
Okay.
My sister runs a brand called Sheba. It's definitely about spreading awareness on the issues to do with, you know, reproductive issues that black women go through.
Right.
That is not spoken about enough. You know, funny enough, today I saw something about how it was such an interesting quote on Instagram, being that doctors to black women are what police are to black men. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna.
No. You're probably gonna say the right thing.
Well,
you know?
it's because, for example, whenever black women have such a high mortality rate whenever they're giving birth, right? Or just in general, when they go into the doctors with an issue, they are tended not to be taken. usually not taken as
serious.
as their white counterparts.
Exactly.
While obviously black men, they have a history of being killed by police officers as well. So that's a real interesting one there.
So yeah, brands of that sort I think is really good. And also I just anything creative as well, because I am also a creative, specifically graphics designer. An artist as well, visual artist. So yeah, all for that, and really big in that fashion stuff and everything. Love it.
So Chris, so how old are you now? And then for you, what's the end goal in terms of racing?
How do I look?
Oh, you
young man.
You know
what? I like whenever I hear that, because it's interesting and it shows how good of a job I've been doing, or bad of a job. So August gone, I turned 30.
Turned 30.
I turned 30, yeah. August gone, which is a bit crazy. I never thought I'd be saying the 3-0 or the third.
Welcome to the third floor, man.
Yeah, I know. That's my sister's been telling me that. I know, man. Yeah. So that's where I'm at, and I would definitely be keen on, and it's a shame because I was very heavily focused on Formula One. But I think it's not just because of my age, but also because of it so happens that all the things I answered to do with how it's not as enjoyable for a racer anymore. The stakes are the pressure's just unnecessarily high. IndyCar is what I'm very keen on. I'm very keen on in America. From what I see, and I think was mentioned, that the culture of racing out there is
different,
astronomical. I would love to do IndyCar.
Right.
It's a shout. You get drivers of all ages there.
You don't rate NASCAR though, do you?
NASCAR, God, wow. Oh, Lord.
What's this Indy and NASCAR? They're different?
So IndyCar is, you know the ones that look like Formula One cars in America?
Yeah.
That's IndyCar. NASCAR is the ones that look like Chevrolets.
Dodge.
Do you know what I mean? But just on
American
steroids,
muscles.
going around in an oval.
Yeah.
You get it? Whereas IndyCar is the ones that go on like circuits. They do the Indy 500, which is on an oval as well. So it's a mixed, diverse pool of racing on some really good circuits as well. I mean, yeah. So
is Formula E an option?
It is an option, actually. It is very much, especially with the unveiling of the Gen 4 car. Woo, have you guys seen the new Formula E car? Good Lord.
But the thing with Formula
nice.
E is like, obviously the main issue is the battery life, and how many laps is it before they have to go for like a charge? But I know there's a lot.
It's
of
not
it.
the highest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think once it was in the what was it, the O2? Was it the O2?
Battersea Power Station.
Battersea Power Station, yeah. And like it's incredibly cool. Like the whole setting around it and everything. It's just obviously the amount of laps you can do in a Formula One car when it's on petrol is completely different to the Formula E situation.
I think if I was to rate it in terms of what I would be more for doing, it would have to be Indy first, Le Mans Series second. So when I say Le Mans Series, as in like the LMP cars, and then Formula E. That's what I'd say. That's really what I would.
Got you.
A lot of fun.
If you're gonna pitch to an investor now, so let's say they're gonna listen now, what would be the reasons why they should invest in you?
Because I'm just damn good at what I do.
Talk your stuff, man.
All jokes aside, no, I think it's just the angle I would pitch myself at is very diverse in my approach. It's not just about racing, you know. I think it's a bit frustrating, and this is maybe why I feel so passionate about Lewis, is that what Lewis Hamilton is doing is basically, I see myself like that if I had a lot of money to do stuff and influence like the way he does, being the fashion side, being the art side and everything. I'd love those even before, like from as early as I can remember in my life. So I would definitely be marketable in the fashion space, marketable in the creative space, even the fashion technique, creativities,
sure,
more or less the same. And then also other sports too, because the name as well, I tend to play into that naturally. People look at my surname, they look at football and things like that. And I used to play myself. My brother plays as well. So yeah, that's the way it would be a really good surname or name to attach your brand to.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, I hear it.
Okay. I love that.
Few sort of quick fire questions from me. I know Afo has his whole set. Hopefully I don't steal any of his.
Yeah.
But favorite racing game.
Why the hell did you have to ask me that question? That is such an intense, loaded question.
Because I used to be a Need for Speed kind of guy. No, what am I talking about? I used to be a Burnout. Do you ever play Burnout? Yeah, of course, the guy played Burnout. Afo doesn't know what we're talking about.
Not sure he get gassed as well behind the camera.
Burnout was my favorite.
This actually had me stressed out. This genuinely has me stressed out.
And I guess you actually no, I'm not gonna influence. I was gonna say you could separate like the more realistic ones but you just pick one.
Okay, can I put them into category? What you just said off the back of that, can I put them into category?
Okay,
off of realism, Need for Speed.
Really?
Specifically, in terms of Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. Play that game and you'll probably get the closest idea of what it's like to race a real sports car and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay.
Because when you little things like when you're going through corners, the camera starts to turn to be like you're looking at the apex of like the screen starts to do that. When you crash as well, it goes blurry and you can hear the driver breathing and everything. You can see, it was the first game that sort of like you can see like realistic racing gloves that were on the market, and I used to get really gassed when it came out because the gloves you're wearing in the game, I had them in real life as well. So I was like, oh yeah, they made the game around me. Yeah, it's little things like that. So yeah, Need for Speed, Gran Turismo. Funny enough, I found it a bit annoying.
Okay.
Because it was just too like what I'd compare Gran Turismo to is like, the interface of an iPhone and the interface of a Samsung. Gran Turismo was like the interface of like an Android, and it was just like it's not friendly. There's too many little functions and little things to select a car and stuff like that.
Sure, he's burning behind the camera.
Oh, yeah, he's an Android man.
He's an Android diehard.
Lord. Yeah.
Sure, he loves that stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know how you do it, man. Honestly. So great mechanics.
Yeah.
But just I think I just gelled more of Need for Speed.
Okay.
But in terms of just outright fun, reflexes, and just learning how to be a savage behind any steering wheel, Midnight Club.
Oh yeah,
Midnight Club. Do not get me gassed. If my cousins were here, everyone would leave the room because they'd be like, Chris is talking about Midnight Club, specifically really? Midnight Club 2.
Okay.
And then Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition when that came out. Don't get me gassed.
Love that. Love that. All right, man. So done game. Favorite racing movie, best and worst.
Racing movie. Can you include documentaries as well?
Oh, let's have a separate category for documentaries.
Okay. All right, racing movie. I want to say it's a close call between Le Mans 66 and Rush.
I thought you might say Rush.
And Rush, because Rush was very good even though technically it's like a biopic in many ways. Rush was very good in terms of taking it back to the days of pure racing, like mechanical H pattern, move your arm, fight the steering. The 166, again, it was slightly different, but it was just very good with Kristen Bell. I think Matt Damon, they did a very good job. I know some of the viewers are probably expecting me to say the F1 movie, but I haven't actually seen that yet. Funny enough.
No, but I've seen Rush, and I would say obviously that for me that's a tier above. Something like the F1. The F1 movie is a popcorn movie. It's like a blockbuster. Yeah. While those ones, I think they're much more. Well, they're much more.
Well, Damson did a good job though. I have to give it to him. Damson did a good job in the F1 movie. From what I heard.
You haven't watched it, man. What are you talking about?
I've seen bits. No, but I've seen bits. I've seen clips. Yeah, I've seen clips. So I mean, that's the whole thing. Yeah.
No, Damson was good in it. He was good in it.
He did all right.
But yeah, it's a different level of movie making, I think.
Yeah. Documentaries.
Of course, yeah.
Senna,
yeah, definitely.
Senna, 2010. Very close. Although I did watch Schumacher not that long ago, and Schumacher's one was just like mad. But Senna's one was. Yeah, very emotional on many levels. Not just because of like the ending, but just like I think because I'm a very spiritual person and faith in God remains very, very strong.
Got you.
Because you need something higher with all the emotions that go up and down in racing. You need something higher to keep you grounded. Senna was very much aligns with me on that. Senna.
Yeah, Senna seems like such a maverick.
Yeah. People say maverick, but the way I see it, he just believed in God, whereas no one else did. You know, he wasn't a man of the world. He was a man of that, in my opinion, was physical at one point, but transcended long before. You know,
really?
So yeah, that's why he was so good.
Was that from his perspective, like he wasn't really scared of dying, or
I think that we'll never know.
Okay.
I don't think that we'll ever know, but I just think that the way the man moved, that you just felt a presence. That even I never got to meet the guy, but I knew a few people that did. There was just that charisma that Schumacher had, yes, but when he was at Ferrari and so on. Senna had when Senna had, like he was just this Ayrton Senna's here.
But it just seems as if like certain elements of like crashing or getting back on behind the wheel, he didn't care too much about. Like it was just like he just loved racing.
Yeah, I mean, he loved he loved racing. I think he acknowledged from very early on it was his ministry, as I do now, that it's just like a calling, that you have setbacks, you have ups, you have downs, but always remember that glory goes to something higher, and you're just here to do a job. You know. Wow. So that so happens that you love it.
Talking about Ferrari and greatness, do you think Lewis is going to get another world championship?
Yes.
Can he do it at Ferrari?
It'd be very hard to do at Ferrari, given not because of the car, not because of any of the equipment, but because of the idiotic management that they have. Yeah. Ferrari are very much like, you know, I compare Ferrari to like Real Madrid in terms of their
stuck in their ways.
Romanticism of, oh, we're Ferrari, we can never put a foot wrong. You need to change the setup. You need to really alter things. You know what I mean? Yes, you have it in your DNA. You're the most successful team. You haven't done anything significant since 2008. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I would compare them more to like an AC Milan.
AC Milan, even better.
You can't be
Madrid actually win.
Madrid have actually won. Let's be honest. Madrid have actually won.
AC Milan's a good shout.
Interesting. But he's like, his move to Ferrari was huge.
Oh yeah,
right. I think probably the biggest F1 move ever. Does he have another move in him again?
I'm going to put it out there. One of two places, the way I see it. Either finish at his old team, McLaren.
That'd be sick.
Or Williams. Why I say Williams? Williams is a very legendary team. You know? Many people, a lot of people forget how big Williams actually are. Okay. They were around since forever, the 70s and stuff like that. And Williams did numbers. Keke Rosberg, like all these guys. They won Nigel Mansell. They won championships. Damon Hill, and they know how to win. They've just had a drought of like being, you know, not so good. Yeah. But the reason why it's, in my opinion, why it's more excusable is because that they don't have as much resources as Ferrari, but they've still done what they've done. Do you know what I mean? You know, Ferrari, you've got a whole nation behind you technically. That's why I compare them to Real Madrid, being like how Real Madrid is like state owned. Do you know what I mean? Like they were not going to run short of money. So. Yeah, I see him potentially going to Williams, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he did.
But you know, if you're one of these teams, especially you mentioned McLaren just a second ago. Yeah, I don't think I would want other than from a purely financial like business decision. Do you really want Lewis over Lando or Oscar?
I mean, by the time that happens, obviously Lando and Oscar will probably be looking for pastures new, right? They'll probably.
But why? Because if they have such a good car, they're doing really well. Like
for now, 2026 is.
They're changing
changing next year.
They're changing next year. Yeah.
So and just to put it out there, you see how, if you guys remember, in Formula One they changed the regulations drastically in 2013 into 14. They went from V8s to V6s. The turbo era came in 2014. This is going to happen. You know who's going to come through? My money's on Audi. Audi's going to become, you know how Mercedes were nobodies in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014? Kaboom, right? Audi's going to be that person.
And why do you think Audi?
I think Audi because, first of all, those 4 rings represent 4 manufacturers that they have behind them. They've got Volkswagen, which is, many people that don't know, Volkswagen actually own Bugatti. So all the stuff you see in Bugatti, it's all Volkswagen. They're getting parts from Porsche. They're getting parts from BMW. All combined. And also Audi have conquered every other avenue in motorsport. Formula One's the only one that they haven't got. They've won Le Mans, they've won the Dakar, they've won the WRC. What else do they have? Do you know what I mean? Okay. They're crown jewel. Audi will do it. I can see them doing it.
What do you think next year?
Not next year.
Oh, okay. That's quick.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise. Nothing's impossible, because if you look at Braun in 2009, that then became Mercedes in 2010, they did that technically. You know, fine. It was Honda the year before, but it's still a new team, you know, with very limited resources, and they won drivers and constructors championship. You know, so it's possible, but I doubt it'll be next year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick one. So,
Sure.
who's your favorite, or who would you say is the most talented active racer?
Every category,
No. So let's say in F1 right now.
in F1.
So let's say right now, so between Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, who's the most talented
Well,
champion?
between those three.
Because those are the three current world champions.
Talented.
Just some pure talent.
Pure talent.
I didn't think this one was going to be as hard, but
Alonso.
Who'd you have?
Alonso.
Huh? Who'd you have?
who do I have? I would
Yeah.
say Hamilton.
Alonso, but it's very close between him and Hamilton. Why I say Alonso is because I've seen some drives from Alonso with a car that is just like, what the hell is this? That is like, the guy will just pull it out.
Fair.
There was a case, I think it was Malaysia 2011 or 2012 or something like that. He was stuck in fifth gear. Being stuck in fifth gear in Formula One,
Yeah.
might as well pull the car over. Brought it home in second.
How many gears does he go to?
Sorry?
How many gears?
Back then, in 2011, it was up to 7, now it's gear 8. So currently it's up to gear 8, yeah. So being stuck in gear 5, pretty much, yeah.
That's incredible.
You know, so yeah, and he brought home in second.
That's incredible, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of these guys, so Isaac Hadjar,
Yeah,
Kimi Antonelli, and
Yeah.
Oliver Behrman,
yeah.
who do you think is going to be the next world champion?
Kimi.
Kimi, for sure.
By landslide, Kimi.
Okay.
Yeah, like, because Behrman, first to expand on that, Isaac is probably the closest to that after Kimi. Behrman, no offense to him, but he's like another Lando, in the sense that your dad just had astronomical amounts of money and used to hire racetracks for you to test, and sorry to say, but like, you know,
Yeah.
this is, again, it's no disrespect to them because it's so hard to get to Formula One and stay there, but you just know there's levels, you know. Kimi.
Okay. With the new regulations, which team are you predicting is going to win next year?
Next year, Mercedes.
Okay.
Mercedes will be back up there. This will probably be George's best chance at winning the championship.
To be fair, he's had a good year. What's more important, the car or the driver?
Driver, way more important, hands down.
James looks like he's got an opinion on everyone.
Yeah.
No, I find, because F1 is not a sport that I'm like versed in, and I probably have like a a casual's perspective on things, but like whenever there's like a really superior car, they win. Like Red Bull, they won, and there was dominance in that time period. I think of McLaren when they had the best car, dominance. And I guess maybe now we're starting to see a little bit more like balance, I would say. But like, it seems whenever there's a dominant car, that's when.
But then I'll ask you this, right? You see how, can we agree that all the guys in Formula One are good?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's the case and it's not up to the driver, why is it that in Sakir 2020, when George Russell had his cameo in Mercedes, he didn't win the race?
Could it be from?
Because that car in 2020 was the fastest Formula One car ever built in history.
Okay.
You know that, right?
Could I use something that you said earlier in the conversation? And say that
I thought you were going to go back to this.
that the cars are designed for the
Each
number one driver, and he struggled. Maybe being acclimatizing to that.
Some teams are a bit more like that. Like Red Bull are famed for being like leaning towards other drivers. Some teams are a bit more neutral, which again, it's not me backpedaling. Of course, there's always going to be a case where a car is a bit more suited to the faster driver.
Right.
But why is I still stand on saying that it's the driver that is the more dominant force? Is because that you still need someone to set it up. Do you know what I mean? Engine mapping, gear ratios, all of that stuff. You need somebody to be like, all right, we're on this specific, like for instance, Spa, right? In Belgium, you have the famous corner Eau Rouge. The gradient percentage is so high. So now you need to do things where you set up your fuel mapping where like, because naturally if a car's doing that, in the fuel tank, it's liquid, it's not solid, it's going to do this.
Yeah.
So that little second alone disrupts the pressure of fuel going to the combustion unit at the back, right? You need someone now to know how much fuel load can we carry so that we don't have that compromise, or how are we going to set up the engine so we don't feel that compromise where someone could like catch up to us a tenth of a second every lap and eventually pass us. All these things a specific driver with experience or a specific driver with skill will know, as opposed to a driver that doesn't. So that's why I say it's all down to the driver.
Okay.
You know, all these things again that you learn.
I won't argue with the expert.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Okay, and in terms of track, so Monaco, do you think it should be a part of the F1 calendar?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah,
Why? Or,
I'm
Yeah,
intrigued because
definitely.
I feel like there's a lot of chat
yeah.
around it. So
Heritage, I think, is very important in every sport. You need to have things that represent that. Monaco simulator, even just walking it, technical, very, very technical. Sometimes you're like, when I went there, I was like, how the hell did guys get things through here? You know, in the sim as well. It's only now that my skills developed, you're just a bit like, okay, you can see how you take corners and so on, but you have to have Monaco there. I think it's very important. It would be like, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be like just having F1 without Ferrari or something. Do you know what I mean? It would just be a bit odd in that sense. Yeah.
Is Monaco the most iconic course?
surely Monza, no?
Sorry, circuit.
No, there's I wouldn't say the most it's one of the most iconic.
Give me the top 3.
Monza, Spa, Monaco.
No Silverstone.
Silverstone's probably top 5.
Top 5.
Reason why I don't say that is because Silverstone only became the British Grand Prix in recent, well, I wouldn't say recent history, but there was a period of time where the British Grand Prix was Donington.
Okay.
There's a period of time where the British Grand Prix was actually Brands Hatch.
Right.
Whereas Spa's always been there.
Got it.
You know, Monaco's always been there. Belgium,
Spa.
Spa, yeah, has always been there as well.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, gonna name a couple drivers. So Nikita Mazepin, Lance Stroll, Logan Sargent, and Nicholas Latifi. If you had to pick first seat, second seat, reserve, and not getting the opportunity to drive.
First seat, Lance. Second seat, wow. I didn't think this was going to be this hard. Second seat, Nicholas. I can't forget what he did in Hungary 2021. He did all right. You know, Nicholas.
I love the memory that you can remember what's happened in races and you can call out the year, not even just saying 2021
man,
this
of course.
happened. It's a great memory, bro.
Yeah, second seat, Nicholas. Third seat, Logan. Not getting a chance, Nikita. Nikita is just...
Not the one for you.
There's some things I've seen live in the flesh about Nikita. I'm just like, yeah. I'm sure you're a nice guy when you don't have your helmet on.
Yeah.
You might be a good guy to vibe with, go to a party with, whatever it is, but yeah.
Do you like the beefs that arise in F1?
I feel like they're too friendly. No one's rugged. Like no one is like the days of, I miss the days of like Nelson Piquet, even though he's a racist piece of work, right? Nelson Piquet and just like where it was like on site. And no one's. By the way, let's keep this above PG, right?
Yeah.
No one's
stuff.
a shit talker. Do you know what I mean? And no one's like. I feel like racing needs a bit of boxing energy. That's what it needs. Like those people are just like, yeah, you're gonna do something. You know that kind of like it needs. Oh, perfect. It needs a Juan Pablo Montoya. Shout outs to Juan Pablo Montoya. That right, my Colombian uncle.
I was not expecting that.
Don't piss that guy off, you know. Honestly, it needs a Juan Pablo Montoya. I like Juan Pablo because you know why?
Okay.
He saw Schumacher there. So I don't care if the guy's in a red coming, I'm gonna race him. And he beat him several times.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. It needs everyone. It's too friendly. It's too media trained or say the right things. Blah blah blah. That's what I remember in Singapore, 2011. Felipe Massa, Lewis Hamilton, when he gave Lewis Hamilton that tap on the shoulder, I was thinking, we're gonna see the real Lewis from Stevenage come out. You know,
Not from Stevenage.
But you know, he said again, it's good in hindsight. He said the right things because let's be honest, he would have been Jude Bellingham from here to the moon and back if he responded the way he would have if it was outside of the paddock. Yeah, he would have. Yeah, Marcus Rashford from here to the moon and back. If Lewis did that, we would have been still hearing about it today.
Right.
You know, so it's good that he did it.
Okay, 2 more for you. So let's say now you got the call up to be in F1. Wow. What race? Nice. That would be nice. Yeah. That would be nice. What circuits would you fancy your chances best in?
Barcelona.
Okay. Why Barcelona?
Because Barcelona in the sim, I am damn fast.
Okay.
I'm not just fast. I am damn fast at Barcelona. I just love it.
Yeah.
So much so, actually, one of my students that I'm tutoring and just like coaching and stuff like that, he is about to make his single-seater debut. he's actually going to be. I was so happy to hear his dad told me he's going to be testing at Barcelona, because obviously British tracks are closing for the winter and everything.
Okay.
And he was 2 seconds faster on the first day, like from the beginning of the session to the end of the session. Now in racing terms, typically people go like a 10th faster of a second. The guy became 2 seconds faster.
Right. Wow.
Just from what I was telling him, to be like full width of the track, you know, brake here, third gear through turn 1, you know, ride that curb, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Things like that. So Barcelona is just, yeah.
Is there a court or a circuit that you can be like, all right, corner 1, hit brake, shift, da 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 da.
A lot.
There's a lot of them.
A lot of them, yeah.
Can you run through like one of those for us? Like maybe the Brazilian one, as that's your
Interlagos.
Sorry, no, the Barcelona.
Barcelona. What you want, names, or do you want like what I would do through the corner?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if I can give it a go, because I was actually thinking of just like British tracks, like Brands Hatch. But let's see if I can do Barcelona. So Barcelona, you're flying down straight, slightly downhill. Turn 1, you take it gear 3. It's like a chicane. So what do you call it? Right, left, but don't go all the way straight to the left. Let it run in the middle of the track. Let it run all the way out, straight down. You're going now into the next turn. So it's like underneath like a sort of bridge thing. You shift down to about 3rd gear, back on the power, let it roll out on the outside curb. You go downhill again, down to 2nd gear, flick through, down the left. Again, it's like downhill underneath a sort of like overhead sign thing. 2nd gear through, it's a left and a right uphill. You're back up to about 6th gear. You can just lift off the throttle, or if depending on what car you're in, you flick down into 5th, get onto the right hand curb, uphill, DRS fully open all the way down, hard braking. You shift down into 2nd gear, turn, it's a left round, let it go right, and then you just keep the power rolling all the way 4th gear, 5th gear, lift off the throttle, back on the power again, straight down. Yeah.
Wow.
So there we are. I wish that's where I could demonstrate. Like I wish that I could show you.
I think when we cut this, we can try and get the video
That'd be
showing of where.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Happily with you guys, obviously can't bring all the stuff upstairs, but I'll show you in the sim upstairs. Yeah. Just so you can see it in an F3 or something. Because
that reminds me of like, you know, LeBron after a game when he's recording plays.
Yeah, in the 4th quarter.
No, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, man.
All right, bro. Final one for you.
Yeah.
So let's say circuit now, stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Who's one driver, either current or let's say go all time, that you do not want to be stuck behind?
Of all time. Jarno Trulli.
Okay.
Because there was and I know where I can think of several different races throughout history where it was like this. There was something called the Trulli train. It was a term that was coined. If you get behind that guy, you don't think I said that how I'm like of like defending.
Yeah, you're not going nowhere. Yeah.
Good luck getting past him. You're not getting past. You used to call it the Trulli train because he would build a train of cars, people trying to pass him. You're not going to get past him. Defense was at Fort Knox. You're not getting past him. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah.
Mate, thank you.
Wow.
That was
yeah.
I enjoyed this.
Bro,
This
insight
was
there.
this
the
was
insight has been remarkable.
Oh, before we go,
Yeah,
just
sure.
give me top 3 drivers, top 3 teams of all time.
Of all time, F1 or just
Anything. Because obviously, I know we mostly talked about the Fs, but I mean, if there are other Le Mans,
Or Indy.
Oh yeah,
NASCAR.
Goodness me. So even though they're doing nonsense, and I say nonsense with capital letters now, Ferrari is up there, Formula 1. I'll pick one from every category, like what I feel like. Okay. So Ferrari and F1, F2, ART.
Okay.
Reason being because they saw Lewis to his success in 2006 in GP2, which is now Formula 2. And ART, it was co-founded by Fred Vasseur, who's team principal of Ferrari now.
Okay.
Lovely French man. Just cares about driver success. Formula 3, see, because there's so many categories of Formula 3, it's kind of hard. I'd probably say Rodin, which was formerly Carlin. If you guys are familiar with that team, Carlin Motorsport.
Yeah. Okay.
They've had the British team that I have to give it to them. They know what they're doing big time.
Okay.
And then F4, I think F4 has just been a mix really.
Okay.
So
And then drivers
of all time.
all time.
Across any kind of car racing.
It would be F1 though, wouldn't it?
All three? You think all three?
Actually, you know what?
Go on.
F1, Lewis. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I mean, I grew up being a Schumacher person because
Right.
I used to. What inspired me to get into racing was that man in the red helmet moving very fast.
Yeah.
Couldn't say his name when I was younger, but I want to be like him.
Iconic.
Yeah. So closely knit between Michael and Lewis, but Lewis because the color of his skin for me, that's all that's needed. I'll be frank.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
representation is important.
Okay.
You know, F2.
I mean, you can pick all F1 drivers, but if you want to do F2, please go ahead.
I'll do a few categories.
Okay,
I think,
Give people their flowers.
Yeah, actually, no, okay, because I want to make a change there.
Okay.
F1, I'll give it to Michael because he was the first. F2, I'll give it to Lewis because what Lewis did in GP2,
Okay.
it's just disrespectful. Like that's the best way to call
dominant
it.
beyond
It's just
belief.
disrespectful dominance. You know, like I remember Turk. You can watch it on YouTube. Turkey 2006. It's taking a piss, man. He spun on the first lap. Yeah, this was a field like 20-something drivers. He came back, he finished second. It's like what? Like you know, was like, how dare you? Like who do you think you are? You know, F3. F3 Max when he was in F3. Oh my god. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't even do Formula 2. He went straight from F3 to F1. Yeah. F4 is a guy who's now doing GB3. His name is Dagan Ferkler. I have to give it to him.
Okay.
He's like he came from the whole sim stuff.
Right.
He did his rookie year with a team called JHR, and then he went to a team called High Tech. He's got record wins in British Formula 4.
Got it.
Madman.
Are you allowed to have music in the car?
Nope.
I was thinking like, if you're trying to,
They actually had a conversation about that a couple of years ago.
I was
Like, think
thinking
about
like, would you even listen to upbeat me, or do you want something calm?
This weighs something, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to have this because this alone can cost you.
Not even like a one AirPod.
Nope. Forget that.
But what you could do though is you know how they have the microphone.
Yeah, team radio. Yeah.
It's a team radio. In the back where they're putting in the radio, put some jams on through the radio.
You know the thing is with that, great drivers will know this. Or like should we say, high skilled drivers will know that how you drive the car to its limit is actually by listening
To it, yeah.
To it. So typically we get obviously the counter or the dialer on the steering wheel. However, that goes when it goes like you change gear, but you'll just feel it and hear it. I know that in the sim, I don't even look at that. I just hear the sound of the engine, like what it's doing, and you just know when to change.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to have music, and also you're just in that flow state where you're just
Yeah.
Unreal, bro. Yeah.
Bro, Chris, that was special,
Yeah.
man.
That was nice.
Of course, guys.
appreciate you,
yeah,
bro.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Wow. So tell the people where they can find you.
Yes, so Instagrams, I'm actually doing a lot of my socials, so guys, support it.
Show him love. Show him love.
Instagram handle, which I'm really big on, is just my name. So Chris, CHRIS, OKOCHA is my handle. TikTok as well. Hate the fact that I'm on TikTok, find it annoying, but here we are. It's the day and age we live in.
You have to be everywhere.
Yeah, and it's the same handle, Chris Okocha, but with one on the end. And yeah, that's me, really. So
Chris, it's been an absolute
pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you for letting us into your home as well.
Yes.
Beautiful. I said Afo before you came, I said to the guys, this was designed by a Nigerian.
yeah, you know, honestly.
Facts.
Afo, another one's in the books, bro.
Hey, we've done
Yeah.
another one, man. Another sector. We're now in motorsport. It's been
Motorsport.
beautiful. It's been beautiful. But on that, like, comment, subscribe, show us love. It's a Sports Party podcast.
Welcome to the party.
Let's get it.
I'm a different type of rock star. I got class and I got Henny overflowing up my shot glass. And yeah, I know I'm not a keeper, but can you be my mama seater by the time I'm done with